You know that your business needs content, but how do you find the time to build it, to do it, to create it, to make it so you can reach your customers? That is what we're going to talk about this week. Stay tuned. I want to thank you for tuning in. We're going to cover a lot of the basics on the content creation that you get from inside the video podcast studios here. There's a ton of reasons why you want to do this. And part of what we're going to go over in this is some reasons that you may not have thought of and some angles that we're going to approach this from that could give you some stuff that, like I said, you may not have thought of or may not be using. The biggest thing with these studios is how efficient they are. I mean, you put prep into it. You come into the studios, you sit down, you talk into the microphone like this. In a lot of cases, you're going to have a guest across. Maybe you're going to have a guest online. But nonetheless, you're going to create a lot of content really quickly. And there's two ways that happens. So the first way is you're going to create that 15, 20, 30, 40-minute podcast, hour-long podcast, whatever that is. You're going to create that all in one shot there. So you've got that one big chunk of content. The other piece of that is this is video. So we're going to be able to separate this out into these smaller, digestible, as I like to say, doom scrollable clips that you can get out to people. And those do a great job of raising that awareness of you, of your brand, and of all those other things. So the big podcast does an awesome job of communicating and staying in touch with the people that you've already reached, the ones that already know you. And the clips do a great job of getting other people's attention. The clips are what really are going to bring people in. The longer form stuff is what's going to keep them there and keep them engaged and keep them interesting. Now, another piece to that is the batch creation in this. So you can sit there and, we can do 2 podcasts in an hour. You launch one towards the first of the month, let's say the 15th of the month. Suddenly, your entire month of content has been created in about an hour. You're going to be able to get all that stuff out there in a really quick, short period of time. That batch recording makes that super easy. And we've got a ton of people that schedule guests in like one right after the other. So they're going to do 20 minutes with this one, 20 minutes with that one, 20 minutes with the next one. Son of a gun, in a little over an hour, they've had 3 guests in. They've got 6 weeks worth of content done. And they've been in here for a little bit over an hour. It works really, really well for, like I said, creating all that content, of which part of that's probably what you're watching right now, right? The other piece to that is video is a great way to convey ideas. It makes it so you can write about them, but you can also speak about them in a video. You guys know, this is authentically me. It's not AI generated. It's not anything like that. This is just me. It's me talking with you. When you do the videos like that, that's the sense that you get. When you do it in writing, writing is great for SEO and a bunch of other items like that, but it doesn't necessarily always connect as well with people the way video does. Because let's face it, you sit here and you feel like you know me. We're sitting across the table from each other. How does that build to those things that we want? Everyone talks about views. Everyone wants views. Views don't matter. They do in a way, but not in the way that you think. What we're looking for is that engagement and that actual reach to the people that we want to talk to. I would much rather have 100 people that are here liking everything and commenting on everything than I would 10,000 people that may as well be bots or vapor trails. It's making sure that we're driving that engagement. And the way we do that is, so the first piece of this is video is always going to be more visually appealing. Even with me on here and being as visually unappealing as I am, video is visually appealing. It's going to grab people's eyes. It's going to grab their attention. And it's going to do that in a much more effective and efficient way than text would. That's going to drive that engagement. That's going to drive that stability. That's going to drive that reach that we're looking for. The other thing, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, we're going to drive that authentic connection. You see me, you're getting to know me and who I am as you're watching this. That builds that trust, that builds that expertise, that gives you that authentic connection. This is, in fact, I was just talking with someone a little while ago. They're just starting off on their video podcasting journey, and I'm super excited for them. And they do a ton of trade shows. And I said, you're going to realize that you're doing the podcast stuff right. When one of these days you're going to be at a trade show, someone's going to come walking up to you, and they're going to be like, hey, how's it going? And you're going to be like, who is this person? I have no idea who they are. But they're going to know exactly who you are because they've watched you in the videos. They've seen you in the videos. They know who you are. Suddenly, they've got that trust. They trust you. There's the expertise. There's all those things that go into that you built through the video that you didn't have to spend the time in person to do that. The other big thing about this too, when it comes to having the videos for this, I get people that say, well, I'm just going to do an audio podcast. And that's great. Go right ahead and do that. But if you're already sitting in a room with great microphones, great cameras, why don't we hit record on cameras? Because you now have so many other platforms that you can put this out on. I mean, think about all the platforms that deal with videos. Like every social media platform wants video. That's what they want to see. And that's a huge part of the reason why you want to be there, is because you'll have that video content that can go out just anywhere. So let's take another step here and talk about discoverability and SEO. First off, Google. I mean, they're the number one search engine. The number two search engine is YouTube. Let that set in for a second. The number one and number two search engines are basically Google. Everyone else has such a small market share that it kind of doesn't matter. So with that being said, Google absolutely loves video. If they know there's video on your site and out there, they're going to be like, yep, they put the time and effort in. They know what they're doing with this. The other thing that you can do with that is now we've got a platform that we can add in those keywords that are relevant, those titles, those descriptions, the transcript. All those items get added in for that SEO and discoverability. And that's not just in your site, that's in the social platforms. That's so many other areas where you're going to now have that visibility because you've got video that's been transcribed and you have the right titles and you have the right description about it. All of those things add up to really increasing that visibility, which, if done correctly, is going to help you increase that engagement. It's going to help build those fans of you and your business, the ones that are going to come back to you time and time and time again. As I mentioned before, video is a huge way for you to show your expertise. It lets you demonstrate your knowledge. It lets you demonstrate your passion. You're here on video. You're talking to the people that you want to talk to. If you've got a guest sitting across the table from you, you're talking with them. You're having a discussion. This is engaging. This is educational. People are learning about you, about what you do, about your content. They're learning about all those separate items. And that positions you as that authority in your field, that it raises your status. And with that, now you can get on other and different guests that, once again, you can raise your status with. It really lets you build that connection with them. In addition, let's say you've got a client where you'd like them to do something differently with your services. Have them on the show. Bring them in, talk to them, have that discussion about things. And suddenly that's going to, you've helped them out. So, I mean, how much do clients love when you help them out? They love it. So you've helped them out because you've given them visibility. You've also built trust with them because you had them on and it was a good show and you asked them the right questions. And on top of that, now you've been able to kind of help work through some of those problems that may have been sticking points before. It really is a win for everyone around, and it helps you build those relationships with the people that are sitting across the table from you and the people that are sitting behind the screen scrolling away right now. It really helps you build through that and build those relationships. As you build those relationships, let's think about this. When you're building relationships, what usually comes out of those in one way or another, even if it's not directly that day or that moment? Leads. Leads come out of relationships all the time, and more leads typically leads to more sales. Let's face it. If you don't have any leads, you're probably not going to end up with many sales. This is not designed to be a sales funnel, but what it will do is it will help build that top level of things. It will help people to be aware of things. And once again, it can help people move through that funnel as they build trust, and it helps to break down some of those barriers. One of the things that I said about barriers there that we feel that the video podcast eliminates is that the barriers to entry, be it the cost of like fancy equipment, be it the studio time, stuff like that. The studio time in here is very inexpensive. When you realize how inexpensive it is to do most of your marketing for an entire month, and then you go out to other firms that are going to be creating stuff and you see the cost of that, this very much seems like a no-brainer to me. It's a very inexpensive way to create super high-quality content at a great return on investment. It's a very low cost, high quality, low cost. That to me is just a great value, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we started these studios, is because we saw the value that it presents to so many people. It is a great, great value. With all that being said, I find it difficult for someone not to be in the studio here. We love working with new people. We love working with the people that we currently have. We have so much fun here in the studio, and we've seen so much great content come out that it's just one of those things it's hard not to love. If you have a question about it, by all means, leave a comment, send a message, send us an email, whatever you feel the need to do. We're always happy to answer any questions that you may have about stuff like this. For us, this is our passion, and this is why I enjoy talking about it so much, and why you've seen me on camera so much too. That all being said, I always like to let you know to make sure that you take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of someone else too. As always, I'll see you soon.